All right, aloha and welcome to the monthly Monday morning meditation for the new earth. I'm Jason Donaldson. I'm a galactic shaman. I'm here to help you remember. So it's remember is to heal. We're basically out of a lot of the eclipse energy that we were experiencing when we had Aries, the solar eclipse in Aries conjunct Chiron, which was actually on my natal chart. So it was a lot of like wounding that come up from the past and maybe even other lifetimes where it was an opportunity to feel it and experience it, but it was slightly different. And maybe a lot of you noticed how these things came around that maybe you hadn't felt in many, many years, but then there was this awareness, this consciousness that had risen since that time of the experience, or even if it was fairly recent, where there was a presence of mind to be like, oh yeah, right, this is not really happening right now. Or maybe if you work with me, you knew like, oh yeah, right, just breathe and be with what's there versus feeding into the story and the memory, even because as we know from memory research and what's it called, biopsychosocial neurology, uh, neuro I don't know, one of those terms I used to know from when I went to college, but basically, the neurons that fire together wire together, and so there's this pattern, an ingrained pattern of thought. But what's interesting is every time we go and access a memory, it changes it, and so that's the essence of a lot of the work we do too, with like reframing and reclaiming, and even doing soul retrievals. Basically, in a way, you're going back to that time and you're seeing it from a more empowered position and you can change it. You're actually changing that reality, you're changing that timeline, and everything changes as a result. And this is the quantum nature of our reality, the holographic universe. And this is something Bashar had mentioned when I was in Sedona doing expo there. He was actually talking about that because somebody asked about the mandala effect and why is it like Richard Simmons, you don't see him with a headband in any picture. And a lot of us remember Richard Simmons having that headband. He was the 80s workout guy, like the aerobics guy. And I remember him always having this white headband. And if you go online, you can't find it anywhere except for if you're going to get like a costume that was an aerobic exercise guy has the actual headband that he wore. And everyone's like, well, how is that possible? And he was saying like, as you change the future by interacting in this different multidimensional way, it changes the past. And so this is like really hard for the intellect to understand, but at a deeper level, as our consciousness elevates, we're starting to gain more and more understanding of the quantum nature of reality. And so sharing all that with how when these wounds come up, when memories and traumas and whatever it is, it's always an opportunity to be with it and be present with it and approach it in a new way because we're not the same people we were when we had those experiences. We've elevated our consciousness. We have tools. We have the ability to connect to our divine essence, to our source, to our spirit to help navigate and change it. And not even really change it. You're just holding space for it to express what it didn't get to finish the first time because we got caught up in identifying a label to put on it. And this happens. This is why I'm not really working in clinics anymore, is because of insurance companies. We need to label and identify people. And we all know as therapists, like, well, this is just the diagnosis. We don't want to like focus on that. But there is a lens that it creates, and like, oh, this is the things what we do to help somebody that has like borderline personality disorder. And I got to be really protected and I got to like be careful because they can turn on me at any moment. It's a hard population to work with, and a lot of therapists won't. But as we're holding that idea about them, it changes. Like they can feel that energy, like they can feel our hesitation, they can feel this like walled off aspect. And so this is where basically want to see beyond the label, beyond the judgment, and feel the actual energy of that being, and trust that in the moment we'll know how to set boundaries and stand in our power. And that's what it feels like today with the meditation that's going to come through, is really about like claiming the energy of our temple and standing in our power and being able to set boundaries. Because another thing I'm tracking right now is how there's a lot of different information out there, and there's been a lot of different information for a while. If you're older and you've been in this spiritual game and like conspiracy theory stuff and the revealing of what's hidden in the shadows, you'll know that the internet's changed a lot from what it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you get on there and you could find like legit information that was kind of laying out what was hidden in plain sight. And now it's like so kind of convoluted that there's multiple perspectives, and there's somebody that has like an ayahuasca journey and they get a vision or a download of a timeline, and then they're looking for evidence of it to present to the world. And it's not saying it is or isn't true, but it's often like trying to bring a reality into this reality. And if you're going to do it with something that is negative or manipulative, or you feel like you're being controlled, it's kind of bringing that reality into this one. And so people would be like, well, what if there are like, you know, three suns? There's three suns on the planet. We just don't see them. And it's been hidden. And like you can find evidence for that, and you can keep looking for it to where you may actually be on a timeline where it's revealed that there's three suns that you didn't see before, and all of a sudden it magically appears. And that's where discernment comes in. It's like, okay, maybe this is true, maybe it isn't true. And because we have these powerful intellects, we can go and look for evidence of that. And if we really believe it, I think you could actually change it. And so this is like the flat earth too, where there's compelling, information about that. It's like, wow, that is interesting. And we can go down these rabbit holes with it where we start to really believe it and take it on and draw others to us that believe the same way and live in our own little reality with that. And that's great if that's what a person wants. But if it isn't really empowering, or if it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, does it matter if it's flat or round? And, not many of us are even going to go out into space, but we know there is a curvature of the earth for certain other evidence. Let me slow it down a little and tune into what comes through, because that's more of my stream of consciousness. And I want to like channel more of what's up in this moment. And I'll often talk about myself because I think it's helpful to acknowledge what I'm going through so others know. And then it's often in alignment with what others are experiencing. And I'm also sharing what others have gone through that are around me that were talking. And basically it's this reclaiming of our power and our memory, and how we've had these other lifetimes where we've been here on this planet. And a lot of it is about Egypt, at least for me, working with that Egyptian lifetime. And how this relates to now is, as we know, there was Lemuria and there was Atlantis, and then Egypt. And this was like a harmonious society. It was a very enlightened, very spiritual, very connected to the stars and our star brothers and sisters. And we were taught and we learned in the mystery schools, and we learned information that helped us gain a certain level of power over our subtle energy bodies, over the Kundalini, over our power in connection to the earth and the earth energies. And ultimately what happened is a desire to descend more into the expression of those gifts independent from the source, which is impossible. And yet there was this descending into what I call madness, but was really just a desire to experience separation at a deeper level, at a deeper density. And as we did that, as we chose that, it was almost like we got a little caught up in it, and it was like a falling down instead of just this, playing in that illusion kind of thing. And it kept going and going. And this is why, like, our star brothers and sisters left. This is why we descended into this fighting and this hurting each other, because we really lost the understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. And as that happened, even the powers and abilities started to fade. And there's still some that retained the knowledge and the wisdom of that. And we see this in the indigenous cultures. We see this in the written texts that have been hidden away. And much of this is coming out again now as we're remembering and coming back into unity and wholeness. And same with these same gifts and abilities. And so at this time, you may notice there's an increase in your psychic abilities, and some of your healing powers and your ability to work with others. And also the memory of how we maybe abused those or fell into forgetfulness and the importance of understanding that it's not really our power. It doesn't really come from us. And so this is the same with that wounding I was talking about. And as we embrace our gifts, there's going to be a part of us that maybe gets a little scared and gets a little hesitant. And the best thing to do is just to lean into that and to trust that if you're guided by your heart, it's going to be fine. And this is going to occur more and more as we move forward, where more things are going to be coming online, more power, more abilities, and more of our psychic nature, which can be quite confusing. And so we'll do this meditation today to help with that, with the grounding of these energies that are coming in and these activations, and also the opportunity to work with more people and what that can bring into our lives as far as wanting to be in integrity, wanting to be true to the messages rather than to needing things to be a certain way, the trusting that what we say is perfect and not succumbing to the judgments that I said it wrong or was done wrong, because however it is carried out helps that person move in a certain direction, because ultimately they have their wisdom and their guidance from within. So here now in this moment, let us transition into the meditation for Monday. And as always, the most powerful thing we can do in any moment is to connect to the breath. And just notice how you're breathing in this moment. Just feel that breath, feel the expansion, feel that release. Notice maybe there's some tension or tightness in the body, maybe even a desire not to breathe more deeply. But we want to expand, we want to grow into our energy field. We want to claim our temple that is the human body, that is our human energy field. For as we know, the light that comes through the DNA creates this physical form. And so if we want to work with the physical form, we need to increase the light quotient. And we can do that with the breath. First, claiming that energy, that this is my space. So claiming your space with the breath in this moment as you breathe in, allowing the expansion, and release with ha. And as you do that, you're going to notice some tension, some tightness. And you breathe again, breathe into those spaces, allowing a little greater expansion and the ability to release. Relax the jaw, relaxing the shoulders. As the breath comes in, expanding the belly once again up into the chest. And letting go. Sometimes as we're breathing, we'll notice more thoughts. Maybe we'll get some flickering lights, maybe a vision. And just notice all that and then come to the breath once again, the breath breathing in that expansion, claiming the space, releasing, relaxing, letting go, and feeling that connection to the earth. With each exhale, it's almost like increasing the gravity, the gravitational field within your energy field to help pull away any of the density, pull away anything that no longer serves, the worry, the concern, the tension, while still acknowledging all that's there and how that's for you. So each breath expands your awareness into the temple that is your body, that is your field of energy. And each ha breath, releasing out through the mouth, helps clear that space, almost like opening the windows and the doors of a house that's been closed up for a while, allowing the breeze to just gently blow through. We're not looking for a hurricane. We're not looking to just blast everything. We just want a gentle breeze. It just kind of wakes things up. It brings our awareness to certain areas of the body. And then let go. I want to feel the toes, in this moment, feeling the heels of the feet, even if they're not on the ground. Just feel that connection that's in the feet, these powerful energy centers. Keep us grounded, rooted, connected to the earth. I invite you to feel that connection, feeling your feet, feeling the earth, wherever you are. Even if it's in a building or structure, feel how with your consciousness, you can feel your feet, the energy of the feet moving down into the earth. You know what it feels like to be grounded, to be centered. There's times when you walked barefoot. There's times when you stood on the stones, on the sand, in the dirt. That feeling of being grounded as you breathe and expand. Let go. And we're going to tense the legs, breathing in, put some tension into the legs, the calves, the quads, then exhale and release. And breathing in again, feeling that expansion. We want to tighten the arms a little. Release with ha, letting go of the tension. Next inhale, we want to tighten all the muscles of the body. Tighten everything as tight as you can. And then release with ha. Allow little gentle movements. So we're just acknowledging the biological aspect of our body, the muscles, the tendons, the fascia, the bones, the joints. Take a breath for all that amazingness, this physical form. Release. And we want to adjust the emotional body. We want to lovingly acknowledge the emotions, the limbic system, that which is connected to the soul, that felt sense, that knowing through feeling. So breathe into any emotion you're feeling in this moment. Just notice and just lovingly acknowledge that emotion. Whether it's joy, maybe a little sadness, maybe some anger, maybe some frustration, restlessness, whatever it is, whatever label it is, just breathe into that and then shed the idea that there's something wrong or that there's something right. We just want to lovingly acknowledge how great it is to be able to feel, to be on this human experience where I can feel things. I know things, feel it from deep in my core, this blessing that feeling is. And with this, take a breath, breathe that expansion, and let go with ha. For no matter what emotions coming up, no matter what we're experiencing, always the breath is there, always the breath is present. And always the breath can be utilized to acknowledge that emotion. And in that acknowledgement, it shifts the energy, it expands it, or it dissolves it, revealing the messages, the information. And we're going to focus on the throat, feeling some energy in the throat. Breathe into your throat. Release. So the thyroid, parathyroid, so it looks like a bit like a butterfly. So we're going to breathe into that space of the throat. Allow the butterfly wings to flutter a little. Allow the voice to relax, become deeper, more calm, more easeful, more graceful. That you cannot speak anything wrong. All is guided. All has a purpose. Maybe in the past something was said and it upset someone and created emotion, seemingly. But that emotion was always there, and something needed to be spoke because of the emotion that was in that proximity, whether in our own or those around us. And so it was the opportunity to feel the emotion, to feel the expression from another, eliciting our emotion. So now in this moment, we're going to shed the idea that anything can be spoken that can upset somebody or ourselves. Understanding it is simply emotion coming to the surface and energy, our power through this lifetime and others. It's part of the ascension. This will happen more and more, the opportunity to feel. So we just breathe, inhale in through the nose, let go with the ha. Next, we want to move to the heart, now lovingly acknowledging the heart, the space it holds as the divine intelligence and the portal to the divine. We want to acknowledge this as part of our light body, our energy body, and our connection to spirit. How the heart is that portal, is that dimensional shift we can create within us. Just breathe right into that space and notice what's there. Sometimes there'll be an energy around it, like a casing that we use, of emotion, sometimes even physical pain, things we've taken on in witnessing others or in judging ourselves, things that we're taken on to protect our heart. So we wouldn't feel as much. Sometimes this will shut down our love and our joy and our excitement. So we want to breathe into that heart and acknowledge whatever's there in this moment, making it okay, letting go of the idea that something's wrong or something needs to change. Release with ha. And there's no need to force the gentle breath, gentle acknowledgement. Anything that wants to come out in expression, if there's any tears, just allow the tears. If there's any twitching, any yawning, anything that happens in the body, just allow it to be part of the expression and the acknowledgement and the love of coming home to your heart. But this is the most powerful thing we can do while we're here, is just breathe into your heart, trust and know that you are loved and supported, that you can't love too much, that love can't hurt you because you are love. You can surrender and feel the love and the joy and the peace that you are, even in times when it seems like it's not there. Even when there's heartache or grief, these labels we place on when the heart really expands, when it really grows, and we feel the depth, the longing and the desire that is part of this human experience to express that love again externally, but always it is inside. So as we acknowledge the heart, we want to draw that energy up into the intellect, into the ego mind, which could be associated with the brain, the neocortex, with the frontal lobe. This beautiful blessing, this beautiful tool we have to experience all that is here, to experience ourselves as separate from others, to figure out, to plan how to create things we are divinely guided and inspired to create from our hearts. This powerful supercomputer, a quantum supercomputer, that when set to task can create amazing things. And sometimes this thing is set to task, this powerful computer, to try to figure out our life and our relationships. And we have feedback for when that happens, because it was never really designed for that. And the feedback is the emotions. The feedback is confusion. And when that happens, it's always an indication to come back to the heart, come back to the breath, to the dance with the heart and the breath. And as we're doing this, I'm going to do a little clearing of our energy field because as a part of us, it's part of the field, the collective is scared of this realization, this knowledge. What if I create something bad? What if I do what I did last time? What if someone tries to destroy what I've created? And so breathe into any of that. You're feeling that field of energy around you. Breathe and expand your energy and claim your space with that breath. And as we do that, we're going to invite in cosmic energies, the 12th dimensional light from the source of the universe in through the crown, drawing in our divine connection that's always there, ever present. Many names for this. There is a cord, there is a silver, platinum, gold light, a beam that's always connected to this, and the colors can change. We want to feel that flow of energy and how it flows down through the crown, down into the pineal, flow down into the thyroid, down into the heart, down into solar plexus and the dantian, down into our sexual organs, feeling that energy as it flows back up with the breath expanding up, out, around. Draw that energy of creation and connection to the divine in conscious ways, that we are guided, we are supported. And once again, I want you to feel your feet, acknowledging that you are rooted, grounded, you are here in this reality, in this dimension, bringing in amazing frequencies, light and love, of which you were created and which is why you are here now. To bring back the unity and the oneness and the consciousness, to bring back the memories, and in doing so, dissolving the emotion back into wholeness, feeling what comes up for you, noticing what you're inspired to work with, following your vision of what the new earth is for you. What would you like to experience? What is your soul calling to you to create, to be a part of? What do you resonate with? What is your biggest dream? The one that if you would tell somebody, they would think it was ridiculous. The more ridiculous, the better. Really connect with that energy of what is it you would like to experience on this planet? What would you like to see? Not needing to know how it's going to happen. Just breathe into that, what that looks like for you. Feel that energy. We're going to feel that in our temple, in our body, in our light body. Letting it through every cell and pore as we breathe and expand. Let go with ha. As we're doing this, 3 more breaths, breathing in that energy. Maybe there's a vision, maybe there's a word, maybe there's really nothing coming through right now, but we're setting this intention that this manifest, that this come forward. This energy of the new earth and what you want to see in your version of the new earth. Not needing to convince anyone else that you can just be this energy and live it and watch the magic unfold around you. Last breath. Let it go with ha. Let go of any attachment to it. Just allow it to be in your field of energy, anchored here and now as it goes into the tailbone, into that root chakra, helping you feel safe, supported, guided, and how to create your abundance, comfort. Feel that energy as it moves into the sacral, to your powerful creative force, energy of creation itself, and space, 3D structure, As the energy moves up into the solar plexus, feel how you can work with creation that's around you, how you navigate through your free will. The energy moves up into the heart, start to feel the multidimensional reality. Multidimensional realities all around you, and how this creation from the lower chakras starts to change and shift and pivot to more of a 4 and 5D reality. Still anchored, still grounded, still connected. The energy moves up to the throat, and feel how just by in this embodiment, you will naturally speak and express what's in alignment for you. What's your truth? Freedom of expression, like the butterfly transformed, no longer restricted. You are free to express and be in the world. Energy moves up to the pineal gland, to the third eye, activating your cosmic memory, your galactic wisdom, your connection with all things, and the visions that come from this, while still guided by the heart and knowing you have free will and choice in this as well. How you want to navigate the different timelines, which one you have preference, which one you more resonate with at this time, for the many are being offered, but you know which one's right for you. And as it moves to the crown, the energy is complete with your crown, feeling yourself sealed, whole, complete in your own temple of energy, in your own creational field, and the ability to discern whatever other energies come into proximity and lovingly acknowledge them. The strength of the pyramid. Then we go to the 8th chakra, just above the head. We feel that divine flowing essence of the universe, pouring abundance, gratitude, grace, ease into our life, that you are in a different reality. Things are different, and you are lovingly supported with a waterfall of cosmic energies, connections with your guides, your ancestors, and your higher self. So as we bring this meditation to a close, I want to lovingly acknowledge our guides, our guardians, our higher selves, all the beings serving the law of one, the Natiru, our star brothers and sisters, dragon families, and God, the energy of all things, the universe, the source, the oneness, which we are, with this wonderful opportunity to experience and to feel slightly separate from that, knowing we never really are. And allow this experience to be more graceful, more joyful, more easeful. And as we do this, this is the greatest gift we can give humanity and those around us. So we embody this joy and this love and this freedom of expression. Even when we are upset or scared, to still express and be without apology, be our divine essence, form, and expression. So I invite you now to slowly open your eyes, stay connected with the breath as you look around, just look around your space, wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers a little. Use that breath to expand, stretch the physical body, lovingly acknowledge this wonderful vessel, makes all this possible. And as is customary for this call, we'll oracle cards this time, but tarot cards. Pull 2 tarot cards, just as a confirmation or whatever wisdom wants to come forth that maybe wasn't spoken or expressed today's call. Thank you all for who are here or are listening in afterwards. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the planet. Thank you for just breathing. So first card and second card. Okay, so the first card I got the Five of Pentacles, and this is the Light Seers deck. And this is a great card because it's really a card of perception. And this is what I feel like we're all coming out of is this is like what we experienced in the old earth, our old lives. And it's a matter of just getting up and moving towards what we truly desire. And there is some effort in this. There is some like facing our fears and being with the pain. And then we get to the point where it's like, okay, I got to get up. I got to breathe. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. Where am I? What's happening? And as we breathe and as we get more calm and as we do like what we did today with owning your temple and your energy and what's right for you, no matter what anybody else is saying, no matter what expert or guru or whoever is telling you what you need to do and what you need to eat, you just keep coming to you. And as you do that, like the blinders kind of move away and you see, oh my God, there's a door in front of me. It's like, how do I get out of here? There's a door. I see how to get out now. There's a door, but it's locked. And then the more we're like, okay, let me work with this survival fear. Let me work with this fear of abandonment that left me in this room. Like, why am I in this room? And if we go to that place, we can get caught up in the why and we'll never get out of the room. It's like, oh, I'm just in a room. I'm feeling this. And as we do that, seeing the door, oh my God, there's a key like right in front of me. How did I not see that? And that's the nature of our reality. Everything we need is literally right in front of us, but we don't see it because we're holding on to this pain and this illusion of there's something wrong with me or I'm broken and we're not even got our heads up or eyes open. And so as we acknowledge that part that feels hurt or wounded from our spirit, from our consciousness, from our breath, we find the key, we open the door. And the next card is the Queen of Pentacles, which is really a great expression of when you get outside that door. This was the Five of Pentacles and then the Queen of Pentacles. And so this is the highest aspect of the pentacles or the coins for the feminine expression, which I feel like we're really going through. There's the King of Pentacles, but really the feminine is the most important right now for the whole planet. And this is the energy that's within all of us, men, women, whatever. Because that's our guidance. That's our navigation of when everything externally seems confusing, we go within and we find feeling, we find the truth, and then we're rewarded with security, comfort, and abundance. And it's not always in the way that we think, but this is a card of very much somebody that's in their power and has resources and comfort and a deeper understanding of the material world and the spiritual world. So I think that's a really great confirmation of like the work we did today was more of a you could call it three-dimensional kind of meditation where you're working with the physical body and the endocrine system and things. But that's really what we're doing, I'm seeing on the planet, or at least the timeline I'm on, is like people say I'm too 3D and I'm doing these things and that. I'm like, I'm bringing it here. Believe me, there's a whole bunch of timelines and things I'm witnessing, but I'm like really enjoying my 3D life while we're bringing in the fourth and fifth dimensional energies. And I think that's the point, is like, no matter where we are, can we just enjoy it and be that blessing to people? And when we need our magic 5D stuff to click on in a session or whatever we're doing, it's like, boom, there it is. You don't need to worry about wearing the clothes and all that. That's fun, but that'll be part of the revealing coming forward. There's a lot of people look the part and sound the part, but as the emotion comes up for us all, they have the opportunity to like, oh, I got to walk my talk and I got to do what I say I am, kind of thing. So see how that plays out, because I know that's definitely coming up for me too, is like, oh, right, yeah, I got this thing I always tell people to do. Now I got to do it. Or, there's a new thing in my life and it's scaring the hell out of me, but it's beautiful and lovely. And I'm going to move towards it and feel this fear and want to desire to sabotage it and love it anyway. So thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next time. We'll be here again next month, Monday, the Monday morning meditation for the new earth. Aloha.